Hello, students! Today we are going to understand how a diesel engine works in a very simple way. Let's begin.
So, a diesel engine is what we call an internal combustion engine. The main thing to remember is that it works on the principle of compression ignition. This is the most important concept.
So what does compression ignition mean? It's a very simple process. First, air is pulled into the engine cylinder. Then, this air is compressed, squeezed into a very small space. This makes the air very, very hot. Then, we inject diesel fuel into that hot air. Because the air is so hot, the fuel burns automatically, and this burning produces power.
Now, this whole process of creating power is called one cycle. And this one cycle is completed in 4 steps. We call these steps strokes. So what are the 4 strokes? They are the suction stroke, the compression stroke, the power stroke, and finally, the exhaust stroke. Now let us understand each of these steps one by one.
Okay, so let's get into the details. We're going to look closely at these 4 strokes and see just how the engine actually makes power. We will start with the very first step, which is called the suction stroke. This is how the engine gets the air it needs. So, what happens here? Well, inside the cylinder, a part called the piston moves downward. As it moves down, the inlet valve opens up. And just like that, fresh air is sucked into the cylinder. Simple, right? The engine is just breathing in. After the suction stroke is complete, we move to the second one, the compression stroke. This is where things really start to heat up. Now, the inlet valve closes, and the exhaust valve also stays closed. Both valves are now shut. The piston then moves upward, and it squeezes all that air that was just pulled in. It compresses the air, and when you compress air so much, its temperature and pressure increase a lot. This is a very important step. Okay, so now we have a cylinder that is full of very hot, high-pressure air. But this is not power. So the question is, where does the power actually come from? Well, the power comes from the very next step. This is the power stroke. You can probably guess from the name, this is the most important stroke. It's the only one that actually produces power. Right when the air is at its hottest, a fuel injector sprays diesel fuel into the cylinder. Because the air is so hot, the fuel immediately starts to burn. It's like a small, controlled explosion. This explosion creates very high pressure, and that pressure pushes the piston downward with great force. This is the power. This is what moves the vehicle. So the engine has produced its power, but now it needs to get rid of the burnt gases to get ready for the next cycle. And that is the job of our final stroke. In the exhaust stroke, the piston moves upward one more time. But this time, the exhaust valve opens. So as the piston moves up, it pushes all of the burnt gases out of the cylinder. The cylinder is now clean and ready to start all over again with the next suction stroke. So that is the complete 4-stroke cycle. Now for your exams, let's do a very quick revision of the most important points. Okay, remember these key points. A diesel engine works on compression ignition. It does not need a spark plug, unlike a petrol engine. First, air is compressed to make it hot. Then, diesel fuel is injected, and the whole process happens in 4 strokes: suction, compression, power, and exhaust. And this is why we see diesel engines in so many heavy vehicles. You'll find them in trucks, buses, tractors, and also in things like large generators. So, as we finish, think about this. What is it about this process that makes diesel engines so good for heavy vehicles? It's that power stroke, that strong push that gives them the high power and efficiency they need for tough jobs.